How about now? Wonderful. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to give it just another minute or so until we can get other folks to join us here, and we'll get started. Thank you all for being here. I do want to shout out all of those who've been on these calls for as long as we've had them, which I believe, if my calculations are correct, that this is the second anniversary of these calls, this very meeting. And you know, as I reflect on that a little bit, it is exciting to see all that has come of it, all the partnerships and collaborations that have supported new arrivals in the community, all the advocates that have had a chance to hear about what we have going on and advocate for our clients in the community and the work that it takes to support new arrivals. It is really, you know, humbling to think that it's been 2 years of this, and this started in a sense of eager anticipation for what we knew was going to be a lot of folks arriving. But even when we started these meetings, we truly had no idea how many folks would be arriving, that we would be assisting. And you know, I think it surpassed all of our expectations in terms of the number, but also the pace of arrivals. But the only reason that we're all able to still be here collaborating in this space is because of the preparation and work that went into really the last 2 years. You know, the hard work has brought us to this moment, and it has sustained us through a turbulent time for arrivals, but it's really these key collaborations that have helped bring us to this occasion to be celebrating 2 years of this work. So thanks to you all who have remained steadfast in your attendance to these meetings and your support of those that we serve. So with that, I want to again welcome you all to our monthly meeting here, and send regrets from Array, who's not able to be on the call today. But I will be walking us through our agenda, and we do have something of a packed agenda, so I want to make sure that we have time for everybody, so we'll go ahead and jump right in. The first item on our agenda today is regarding private sponsorship. Then we'll get into resettlement, followed by an update on Festival of Nations, which is at this point just a couple of weeks away. And then we'll dive into our updates on the Multicultural Center, with saving the dates and whatnot, followed by our community shoutouts. And of course, we'll save time at the end for any questions. But let's go ahead and jump right in. Regarding private sponsorship, again, we've announced several times on these calls that the federal government established the Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan Parole Program, or CHNV. This program allows folks from those countries to enter and receive 2 years of humanitarian parole into the United States, which would also include work authorization, allowing folks to have a legal presence and work in the United States for that 2-year period. The federal government anticipated being able to process about 30,000 of these applications a month, and to this point, they really have gotten close to that, to their credit. And we have seen more than 160,000 at this point arrivals through this program to date. Also, we have seen a very large number of requests. The system was prepared for a lot of requests, but not quite this many, not quite this fast. There have been more than 1.5 million applications for this program since those applications launched earlier this year. Now, if you do the math on this, 30,000 a month, 1.5 million applications, that would be maybe a 4-year wait for individuals to be able to arrive. But in order to reduce that time, USCIS is actually amending their process. Previously, it had been a first in, first out process for all applications, but given the volume, they've adapted their process and are selecting by lottery half of the monthly backlog to be prioritized for review. And then the other half of the applications are reviewed on first in, first out. So this means that most folks will not have to wait that full delay of 4 years in order to be able to get processed through this. but it is going to create disparities in wait times. There will be some folks who are waiting a significant amount of time to be approved, and others who submit their applications and very quickly hear back about being able to be approved. But this is due to what USCIS is seeing as a more fair way of assisting these applications and processing them given the volume. Our hope is that additional USCIS staff can be devoted to this process to allay any fears of these wait times that prevent people from submitting an application. And again, this pathway was created in response to the issues at the southern border and targeting specifically these 4 nations, which at the time of the creation of this program really constituted the vast majority of individuals who were approaching the southern border seeking asylum. So we are very much interested in continuing to see this program process these applications and lead to admissions. And to that effect, and we'll go on to the next slide, the Institute has been conducting outreach regarding this. We actually had our first public presentation on Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan parole program last week on the 3rd. We had about 20 attendees and some very compelling questions and folks who are going to be seeking additional support for applications soon. We are going to continue this outreach to the community and are really focused on community members from these 4 countries or associations that have a membership that constitutes individuals from these 4 countries. And so we're seeking assistance in getting an audience with any organization that'd be willing to have us present on this topic. In addition to CHNV parole, we also have been doing our outreach for Welcome Corps, and combined, that outreach has now reached more than 140 attendees across a handful of events over the last couple of months. We are moving forward with informational sessions for folks with regard to Welcome Corps as well, but we've now really advanced in the process to be able to offer application assistance to groups that have come together. Private sponsor groups of 5 or more individuals are now really getting to the point where they're able to really dive deeper into the application. And so we'll be hosting application walkthrough session later in August, and that date, once it is set, we'll be transmitting that out far and wide. And again, this is for groups that really have identified that they want to do this. They have their group of 5 and are seeking this assistance. We're providing groups information about application assistance through the Welcome Corps site. They have their own training module that is available, but this in-person session is really meant to provide a little bit more localized information for portions of that application as well. For anybody who has an interest in either of these programs, Welcome Corps or private sponsorship, we encourage them to use this QR code to scan, to register their interest and stay connected. We're providing emails for updates and information regarding both of these programs. So it truly is the best way to stay connected. With that, I will give a pause and see if we do have any additional questions around private sponsorship or Welcome Corps, these 2 programs. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and advance to the next item on our agenda, which is our resettlement update. And for that, I'll turn it over to Ariel Burgess, our VP of Client Care. Ariel?
Real quick, George Bailey in the chat did ask if you could remind us of the distinction between Welcome Corps and private sponsorship.
Ariel, are you great? We'll advance to the next slide, and Ariel, go right ahead.
Did you want to answer the question about Welcome Corps?
Ariel, your mic is not working.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Did you want to answer the question about Welcome Corps, Blake?
I think we have a technical issue with Ariel's
I think
audio
it's on
set.
Blake's end.
We can hear Ariel. Maybe you just can't, Blake.
Well, that's all right. I can go right ahead and deliver that information.
What?
Oh, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. Ariel, go right ahead.
Okay, can you go back to my slides? Okay, all right. Hello, everybody. It's good to see everybody. As Blake has said, and we've said in previous months, the summer is always very, very busy with arrivals. And this summer is really no exception. While we were approved for 500 refugees and SIVs to arrive in St. Louis by the end of September of this year, we're likely going to use up our 10% of that, and our max is now 550. As of the end of this week, we have 510 arrivals scheduled so far. So what is that? 40 more arrivals possibly might arrive between August and September. Just as a recap, in July, we had 17 cases of 49 individuals. And of course, our diversity is what makes us strong. Those 49 individuals arrived from Afghanistan, Syria, DRC, Eritrea, and Iraq. August, we had 17 cases of 36 individuals from all of the same countries, plus Myanmar, or what used to be called Burma. And that number, the 17 cases, 36 individuals, that might change. There might be a few more, maybe no more than 10 added, as we're only in the beginning of August. In September, so far, we have 2 weeks of arrivals with 10 cases and 21 individuals. So it is very busy. Fortunately, we have hired an African caseworker from, I believe, the DRC. So we'll be able to have that language on staff, and those clients will be able to be welcomed by somebody that they can recognize from their home country. Next slide. Walk-ins, and I apologize, I've been out of the office, so this is information that I'm just going to read right off of the slide. For July, our walk-ins, we had 10 Ukrainians, 22 Cuban, Haitian entrants, and 2 Afghan secondary migrants. Secondary migrants, if you're unfamiliar with that term, means that they were originally resettled in another city and or state and have now come to St. Louis. 2 Afghan secondary migrants means that word has spread throughout wherever these individuals came from, that St. Louis is a good place to resettle refugees, especially Afghan refugees.
So just one note on that, Ariel, thank you very much for presenting. I seem to have my audio issues resolved. One note on this is that we have seen fewer walk-ins in July than we did in June. We don't know if this is a trend because it's really just comparison 2 months, but we will be keeping an eye on this as we head into the end of this federal fiscal year to see if this trend will hold. I just want to add that. But Ariel, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Blake, you muted yourself.
Oh, I don't have my issues resolved. We're going to kick this over to Barbara, I believe, for a discussion of the Multicultural Center.
Actually, I'm going to hop on and take this one. Hi, everyone. So Barbara couldn't make it today, so I will hop on. Just a quick update about the Center for Multicultural Excellence. We'll just go to the next slide. So part of what the center does is language services. So we provide translation, interpretation, and our email address for that service is right there at the bottom, languageservices@istl.com. So if anyone is in need of these services, feel free to reach out to us. So the center launched recently, and we would love everyone to join us as an inaugural member of the center, whether that's an organization, a nonprofit, a company, or individuals. We have various levels of membership, ally, advocate, and ambassador, and various membership benefits that go along with it. So to learn more about that, you can go to our website, multiculturalstl.org, and see what the memberships are about. And then coming up, we have a couple of events that we're hosting. The first one is our very first Multicultural Center Mixer. This is a networking opportunity for our members. And if you are not a member, you are still free to join. The tickets are just $25. And it is also during Welcoming Week, which is an initiative of Welcoming America. And we will be talking about Welcoming Week as part of this mixer, and talking about how companies and employers can help create a more welcoming environment in workplaces. Next, we have Ubuntu, which is our annual fundraising gala event. That will be on Friday, November 17th. And then lastly, our second Inclusion St. Louis Speaker Series event of the year is Thursday, October 12th from 4 to 6 at the International Institute. And this event theme is, does multiculturalism make sense from an economic perspective? Does it make business sense? And what does that mean? So we'll have some really cool speakers from the community coming out and serving as panelists. And we'll also do kind of a mini workshop session right after the panel discussion as well, so that it's interactive for everyone. Here are some links for you to be able to learn more about us. Barbara's email address is right at the bottom if you have any questions for her. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Great.
Thank you very much.
I'm going next. So Armina, if you could advance to the next slide, I'll go ahead and dive in. So welcome everyone this afternoon. As Blake mentioned at the beginning of this meeting, we are fast approaching our annual Festival of Nations. I just looked, we are 16 days away. Technically 17, but we all know that our festival execution starts at least on the Friday before. So that's the date that I counted down from. So we're 16 days away. That is August 26th and 27th over in Tower Grove Park. So some things that we just wanted to share some updates with you as we have them right now. So as of today, we have more than 60 market vendors confirmed. So that's some of those gift vendors that we always, make sure that we visit and shop local businesses. Because we have expanded outreach for the festival, we have other vendors from across the US that we're really excited to bring here into St. Louis and ensure that St. Louis is desirable and marketable in a wider audience than just our neighbors. So we have over 60 market vendors. We have over 80 food and beverage vendors confirmed. We just had our first vendor meeting earlier this week. So even at the 80 plus, that might be increasing in these next couple of weeks. Tickets are still available for purchase, both day passes for Saturday and Sunday, as well as weekend passes. One of the benefits of a weekend pass compared to a day pass for the VIP experience is that there will be specific parking available within the park for VIP pass holders, and that is for the weekend only, not the day passes. When you see the patron tickets, that's really a way to just financially contribute to the festival itself and just make a general donation. So the patron tickets are a $50 transaction that goes to benefit the organization. So there are some perks to that, but might not be as inclusive as the VIP experiences. Also, our performers, we're excited that we have over 50 performers lined up and booked for the event. The lineup will be coming soon. We're working on finalizing some travel logistics and things like that to really be able to cement that performance lineup. We are having performers on 2 stages this year. Initially, we may have announced that it was 1 stage, but we have extended that to 2 stages, knowing that we have a wide immigrant community reach here in St. Louis, and we want to make sure that all of our collaborators and all of those community members who have supported us for so many years have the opportunity to showcase their skills, talents, and artistry. So we're really excited. Keep an eye on socials for all those announcements coming out soon, all the vendor announcements, as well as performers. So Armina, you can go to the next slide. Yep, perfect. So this is currently updated earlier this week, but as I said, with the vendor meeting that happened earlier, there are more that have signed contracts and that we have confirmed for the festival. But here's a quick overview of who we expect to be at the festival this year. As I said, we'll continue to update it as quickly and as thoroughly as we can. I think we just shared this across socials this morning. So again, keep an eye on those channels for more updates. So I'm going to pass it over to Anne.
Thank you, Carrie. Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. Yeah, so as Carrie said, you can find all that info on our socials. Make sure you also check the Festival of Nations website. There you can see all of our vendors, what nationality they are, and everything like that. But I'll talk a little bit more about the passes that are offered. This is for people who want an elevated experience. They'll get access to the air conditioning Piper Palm House, some premium restrooms, as we like to call it, as well as like refreshments and things like that. So it's a really good experience for anyone who wants to kind of like take the festival at their own pace. You can read more about the tickets on the website as well. We've been getting a lot of questions about this. If you have any, please just send us a message and we're happy to help. But that's all I have to say about the tickets. We can go to the next slide now. This is about our summer series. So through the Festival of Nations this year, this is the first time we're doing this, but we're partnering with a bunch of local businesses that want to support the International Institute. And we have a few events coming up. Next week, we'll be at Yamanja, Brazil, which is a restaurant here in the neighborhood from 5:30 to 8:30 on August 17th. So if you're interested in joining, all of these events are open to the public. So we're hoping people will come, enjoy an authentic cuisine, and some of those profits will be donated back to the Institute as well. From Chao Ban, that's another local restaurant. They have Thai food there. They're going to be donating all month their proceeds from all of their cocktails. So they just released a new cocktail menu, and they're going to be donating their proceeds to us. So that's really exciting as well. The next one we have is Little Fox, and that's going to be through August 21st also. They're donating the proceeds from a special cocktail called the Bird Bath to the International Institute. This is another restaurant that's really close to the Institute. So when you're in the neighborhood until August 21st, feel free to stop by there. We did just get confirmation for another vendor that will be donating some of our proceeds. It's Balkan Treat Box. So through August 21st, when you get their dessert pudding, they'll be donating proceeds to us as well. So please make sure you're following us on social media, because that's where we're posting all of this information, and we'd love to see everyone at these events.
Fantastic.
And I think that's it for me.
Thank you very much. I think now we'll advance to our community updates.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's so dreary out and I can see rain falling from the window. This is Kelly Moore, the Director of Community Engagement, and I am excited to present the next few slides. My favorite part of the month is presenting you all with the great work that we've been doing. So we are continuing our bi-weekly community bazaar. Yes, this has been amazing. The last 2 times have been fun. But this bazaar is open to all community members, all new Americans. Basically, this bazaar is open to everyone. We are partnering with Operation Food Search, who is able to bring us their metro market every 2 weeks, and you can find organic, high quality foods at a reduced rate. So that's a cool thing. We also have Operation Food Search with their summer meals program. Any child under the age of 18 will receive a free meal So any child, so that's amazing. And then we typically have music playing with some of live music, and then 1 or 2 food vendors. So maybe Carlos can put in the chat if he knows the next food vendor, but the next bazaar we're having is, what is it, August 18th. So mark your calendars, come out and see us. It's a fun day for the community, and we'd love to see you there. With all those arrivals coming that Ariel mentioned, we always have opportunities for volunteering. So the bazaar could use some help on the 18th. You'll see there on the slide there that this is running, or the next one would be September 1st. So it's every 2 weeks of that date, and this will run till December. We also, at the bazaar, I didn't mention, but I want to, is we have a few community partners, one of them being the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who has been able to give us a food donation, and we therefore are giving New Americans essential food items like oil, flour, rice, tomato sauce, and macaroni, I believe. So we also distribute food to those who need it. So come and check us out. All those opportunities, set up, food distribution, and tear down. Blake oversees our talent and advocacy work here at the International Institute. And if you are passionate, I was thinking about passion. If you are passionate about advocacy for immigrants and refugees, not only in the St. Louis region, but on a national level, please reach out to John Worth, and he will set you up with some opportunities to help with that. Client grocery shopping. I mean, all of these are fun, and depending on what your passion is, but this one you get to go with New Americans to the grocery store and help them navigate our fresh foods. I love this person in this picture who's obviously having a great time on top of the grocery cart. I don't anticipate any of you will be doing that with our New Americans, but if you have children, maybe you can encourage the children to laugh their way through the grocery store. So that's really just another opportunity. Mock interviews, we do set this up pretty regularly. These are interview practice with New Americans. You'll see that third bullet point says no experience needed. Our staff will help you navigate your way through doing mock interviews. If you're available in the mornings from 9:15 to 12:15 on those dates, we'd love to have you. All of our volunteer signups are found on our website. Last but not least, we have what Carrie said, 17 more days to find volunteers for the Festival of Nations. I'm happy to report that this year we're only looking for a total of 410 volunteers. In years past, it was near 600, so that's one good thing. The next good thing is we've already secured 150 volunteers. So please keep on telling your community members, your friends, your family, that there are lots of volunteers needed for this 2-day event. We do have opportunities the Friday and the Monday, the Friday before, the Monday after. We won't, I hope to say that in our September meeting, we will tell you that the festival went off wonderfully because we achieved the goal of 410 volunteers. So please, every person on this call can be an advocate for this opportunity. If you don't want to volunteer, please just come and join the fun. John and I will be sitting at the Turkish Pavilion all day long, both of those days. So if you want to just come say hi to us too, we like visitors at the Turkish Pavilion. Okay, next slide. Last but not least, my community shout outs, one of my favorite parts of the month. We had an exciting month this past month. We had the opportunity to get to our team at Worldwide Technology. We partnered with the United Way, and staff from Worldwide created 100 hygiene kits for our new families. And that was really great. It was during their diversity summit. So thank you, United Way and Worldwide Technology, for inviting us. We also had the pleasure of working with it looks like about 15, I think it was 15 to 20 volunteers from US Bank. They were amazing. They just did anything we needed. So we love it when corporate groups are flexible and can, you know, change on any given day. So they helped pick up trash. Looks like they were doing some sorting in our donations room, and we had a good time with them as well. So thank you, US Bank. Both, well, Worldwide Technologies was a new relationship. US Bank, we've been working with them, I want to say at least 4 to 5 years. This next one, Care Camp. This was our 6th year inviting or participating with Care Camp. This is a camp based in Olivet, Missouri. And what they do is bring in 40 kids a week to the camp. I think it's in Olivet Park. And they go to different sites throughout the week, non-for-profit sites, and they do service hours. So in years past, we've welcomed 40 kids. I believe there were almost 30 kids in this group, but we had 30 kids come to the International Institute, any middle school to high school aged. And they also created those beautiful baskets you see in the picture. Those were cleaning kits for homes. So cleaning supplies, and as you can see, paper towels and other such items. So thank you, Care Camp, for continuing to be our partner. Continuing to work with Metro STL. We are offering bus training every other week. Looks like 55 new Americans have been served since our partnership. That's also a really fun way to volunteer, is that you get to be on the Metro bus with new Americans. So if you want to try that out, do volunteer and thank Metro for helping us out with that. We are always accepting donations. Let me look at my phone real quick. I was going to tell you the top needed items. I just got that today. Oh, one top needed item is shampoo. We finally ran out. I mean, this is so fascinating. Blake told us this is our 2nd year anniversary of these calls. And that means we had enough shampoo from 2 years ago that we never had to ask for it. So it took us 2 years to get rid of all of that shampoo. And now, speaking from my volunteers who work in that room weekly, shampoo is on the list. I'm looking real quickly at my text messages. Deodorant is also on that list. So also, this is fascinating. We had a supporter of ours by the name of Peggy Cohen Voss, I believe is her full name. She's been working with us for the last 2 years. This week, she dropped off some donations, and in her donations was a roll of quarters. Remember 2 years ago when we were asking everybody to give us quarters, and schools and church groups and religious groups, they all collected. Some of them put them in rolls. Other people just handed us a bucket of quarters, which either way, they were wonderful. So thank you to her for keeping that in the back of her head. And she donated, I believe it was $10 worth of quarters. Housing still continues to be a challenge at the International Institute, especially when we have to find housing for, I think our biggest family so far has been 14 people. So occasionally we still have families that are using hotels, and those people will obviously need quarters for laundry. So thank you to all of you who have supported us. I'm blown away that it's been 2 years since we started these calls. I feel like it was yesterday, and we really appreciate all your support. Continue to walk alongside the work that we do. And this slide here will show you ways to be involved. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. And we could not do our work without the community support that has been shown.
Kelly, thank you very, very much. We certainly, to hear that we only just now we're able to deliver all of that shampoo to clients who needed it at once shows the volume of shampoo that we truly received, but also it shows sort of the logistic challenge that we have, right? We got all the shampoo, how can we get into hands of people that need it? It takes time and effort and volunteers to get that work done. And so we appreciate everybody who has donated their time and that effort and all the other efforts that we undertake here, and those that choose to support us in ways big and small. That all that care and support is needed to ensure that folks are getting what they need, but it also shows the staff here that we're not alone in our mission. The mission that we have is really felt by those across the community who support the work that we do. And for our staff to feel supported in that way really means a lot. So again, thank you to everybody who has participated. And I did want to close by mentioning some late breaking news. The International Institute, along with Greater STL and the St. Louis Mosaic Project, we put in a bid to host a panel at next year's South by Southwest Festival in Austin. And now you all have the opportunity to help bring the message about the partnerships that we fostered here to that community by voting on the South by Southwest panel selector. So I added the link in the chat here. You can create a South by Southwest profile using that first link and use the second link then to essentially upvote our panel opportunity. And there you'll see a couple of participants on these calls listed as part of the panelists there, but also a video sort of showing the philosophy from the National Organization Welcoming America. So if you do are so moved to, please share this in your networks, share this broadly so that we can help promote the work that has been done as a model for other cities and regions to show that collaboration works in support of folks in need, and that we are doing something very special here. So please do share that far and wide with your networks. And with that, I wanted to open it up for questions. I know I missed one earlier. So I'll ask George if you can ask your question again, as we lost a little bit of context for that at this point.
Thank you, Blake. Yeah, my question is pretty simple. I just wanted to better understand the distinction between the Welcome Corps and the,
Haitian, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan parole program really rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. And the private sponsorship.
Yeah. So really we've classified these as two opportunities because they're different in their scope and responsibilities. So Welcome Corps is really an expanded capacity for the resettlement of refugees. It allows groups of 5 to 10 individuals to come together to support the resettlement of any number of folks that they want to get matched with. Now, this could be individuals who you're just willing to be matched with through the Welcome Corps process, or it could be individual families that you know that you'd like to get resettled. But they, of course, must qualify as refugees to be outside of their country of origin and found to have fled their home country due to persecution or the well-founded fear of persecution based on their membership in a particular group, be it religious, ethnic, political, or otherwise. The parole programs for Cubans, Haitian, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans is a temporary relief program to allow people to come in here on a temporary basis to work and seek shelter. So, those are very different in terms of the length of stay for the individuals. Of course, the refugees are lawful permanent residents and will be able to stay and be on the pathway to citizenship. And those who are coming through these private sponsorship opportunities are arriving as parolees and not on that citizenship track. There is also a difference in the time commitment for Welcome Corps. The support that the private sponsor group provides is for 90 days, really, in essence, replicating the services that the International Institute provides through the service available through the members of the private sponsor group. There's also a fundraising requirement for each of those individuals. The federal government and Welcome Corps are asking that the groups raise $2,375 per individual, be it in cash or in-kind donations. And so that there's not such a requirement on the private sponsor side. On the private sponsor side for Cubans, Haitian, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, I should add, the United for Ukraine program is the same. There is not a fundraising requirement. Merely individuals can prove that they have income sufficient to support the financial needs of the individual that they're sponsoring until the time that that individual can gain employment and be self-sufficient financially in that regard. So there's not a list of services that need to be provided. There's not a list of a timeline list of services or any other fundraising that needs to be done for Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan, or Ukrainian sponsorship. But that, of course, differs with Welcome Corps, where there is sort of more regulation, a little bit more support as well. You know, as a private sponsor organization, the International Institute is providing support to all private sponsor groups, and from the application process to training prior to arrival, post resettlement, and hopefully developing a collective of private sponsor groups that can learn from each other. And while International Institute will support the applications for any individuals that are going through the Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan parole program or Unite for Ukraine, there's just a little bit broader set of supports available through Welcome Corps, as that has a national program component in addition to the local program component operated by the International Institute. A lot of information there, but hopefully that draws some more of a clear distinction between the two programs. Great. Any other questions about festival, how you can sign up, how excited you should be? The answer is very, or anything else that we discussed today. Well, hearing none, I again want to thank you all for being a part of this endeavor, all these endeavors that we engage in, and for your continued support of this work through your attendance here at these meetings for the last 2 years. And just to put a coda on this, we congregated this meeting to address a very real and urgent challenge that was taking place, and get aligning support that was available with the needs that were emerging. And you know, while this has taken a different form here 2 years later, the collaboration and opportunities that are created through this are invaluable. These experiences that we have together and the information sharing has led to so much, and that we are committed to continuing these conversations, keeping the community informed of the work that we're doing, but also finding these opportunities for collaboration. And we appreciate all of your efforts in this regard. So thank you again, and we'll see you all at Festival of Nations. Take care.